that Prabhupada mentions in Nectar of Devotion that there are many offenses in devotional service, like Vaishnava Prad, offenses against devotees, offenses against holy dham, offenses against ordinary people, and also offenses against holy name, offenses against deities. But of all these offenses against holy name, that's the most important and the worst of all. So it is said, if anybody can avoid offenses against holy name, he will be forgiven for all the offenses which he is committing against deities or against dham. So that's all the offenses are included within offenses against holy name, all of the offenses. That is why if you go to South India, Rupa Goswami says that if anybody does any offense against deity, and simply if they chant Govinda, Govinda or Hare Krishna, without offenses, all its offenses against deity are forgiven. So it's important to understand what are these offenses, because success in chanting depends on offenses. In fact, in Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, previously it is said in scriptures, even once taking holy name can counteract all sins. It is said like that. But then this was misused by people around 100 years back, and they were thinking, okay, we have chanted the holy names and now my all offenses are over, but my all sins are over. But then Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came, they said, no, it's not like that. There is quality of chanting also. So you can chant once Hare Krishna, but it doesn't mean your all sins are counteracted, because it depends on quality of chanting. If you chant with offenses, then you don't get rid of sins. On the other hand, you make more sins. That's the problem. So that's the quality of chanting. So that is why if you chant without offenses, then sins are counteracted. Otherwise not. Just remove this, like just coming in the way. I can't see. I just want to get it removed. So it's not there. So that's why it's important to understand these 10 offenses. In fact, why I took this seminar, because I was just looking, Prabhupada's almost initial lectures about initiation and about 10 offenses. Almost the first lecture about 10 offenses was in Seattle, October 20, 1968. And here, I don't know whether this temple was there or not. This temple was there at that time? No. It was in Seattle city. So at that time. So what are these offenses? Let's discuss. Anyway, I want this first to come. Let's see how much time it takes. So, but before that, till the time it comes, Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that okay, fine, you all are chanting Hare Krishna, but then he quoted from Bhakti Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami about this list of 10 offenses. These 10 offenses comes from Padma Puran. This is stated in Padma Puran in Uttarakhand, where the list of these 10 offenses are there. This is also mentioned in Varaha Puran, these 10 offenses. And Rupa Goswami quotes it in Nectar of Devotion. So what are these 10 offenses? The first offense is against holy name is Satam Ninda Namnam Parmam Apradham Vitanote Yata Kyatem Yatam Katham Hu Sahate Tad Vigraham. This is Sanskrit. In English it means to blaspheme those devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names. It's simple. Satam Ninda. Satam means people who are after truth. People who dedicated their lives for truth. That is called Sat. Sat means true. And from Sat words comes Satya. That means truth. And from that term comes Satam. Satam means who are following truth. And what is absolute truth? Satyam Param Dhimai. Absolute truth is God. So people who have dedicated their lives for chanting this for God, it's very dangerous to criticize them. In fact, in scriptures it is said, if we, just like a full moon, if anybody criticizes pure devotees of Lord, their devotion goes down, just like full moon. Slowly it dwindles into no moon. First half moon and then no moon. Then it's darkness. So it's very important to understand this Vaishnava offense. And scripture says there are 6 types of Vaishnava offense. In 6 ways we can offend devotees. 6 ways. And that verse is also there in Padma Puran. It is said, Handi, Nindanti Dvaishtiva, Krudhyativa, Na Abhinandanti, and then Krudhyati, Na Harshamba. Na Harshan Darshan Patetva. This is Patantiva. This is 6 type of offenses. First is to physically abuse some devotee, to hit them. That's one offense. And the second offense is Hanti Nindanti, to criticize them, to envy them. It is said in scriptures, if you want to criticize somebody, don't criticize on their back. If you really want to criticize, go in front of them and criticize them. That's it. But don't criticize in the back. Because that's the worst type of thing you can do. Of course, we are not supposed to criticize on their front face also. That's one thing. It is said in scriptures, don't praise and don't criticize anybody on the back. When you meet people, you should praise them. That's the idea. Criticism can be done only in one condition. Like teacher can criticize their students. That's a good thing. Parents can criticize their children to improve them. That's a very good thing. Criticism can be done when it is healthy. But criticism due to enviousness, that is bad. Unnecessary criticism. Criticizing somebody when we can't help them, we can't correct them in any way. So that is a bad criticism, and there is a healthy criticism. So to criticize devotees with enviousness, that's bad. Hanti nindanti dveshtiva, to actually have enviousness for devotees. That's of course, you can physically abuse somebody, you can verbally abuse somebody, but if you mentally abuse, that's also offense. If we think wrong about devotees in our mind, of course we can't help it out, thinking wrong and all these things. Our mind keeps on thinking so many things. But if we willfully think wrong for a devotee, that's an offense. So it's not that if your mind is thinking something wrong and absurd, Krishna will feel bad. Offense means to do anything which makes Krishna feel bad. That's offense. Simple. It's simple as that. If any action you do, if that makes Krishna displeased, that is an offense. So if we have list of 10 offenses, but then you should get the understanding what's the idea of offense. All these 10 offenses will make Krishna displeased and sad. So to willfully have wrong intentions for devotees, to willfully talk about them in a wrong way, in a planned way, that is called offense. And then these are okay, these you can understand, that's offense. But then 5th offense is na abhinandanti. If a devotee comes and if you don't honor them, if they come to your house and if you don't respect them, that's an offense. If you meet a devotee and if you don't glorify them, that's an offense. That's a different take altogether. No, for offense. Generally we don't do that. But any devotee if you meet, it's our duty to glorify them and respect them. Otherwise it's an offense. And na harsham, if you meet a devotee and if you don't become happy, that's also an offense. This is funny. That generally doesn't happen. No, sometimes we meet many devotees whom we don't like. Our frequency doesn't match, so we generally don't feel happy by seeing them, but that's an offense. It goes very subtle. It starts from physical abuse and it goes to this level when you don't become happy. It is said in scriptures, as soon as you see any person with the tilak, with the mark of Vishnu, tilak means this is feet of Vishnu and there is Tulsi. So if you see anybody with the mark of Vishnu, you have to or you must become happy just by seeing him. because he might not be perfect, but he is on the path of perfection. He might not be a pure devotee, but his goal is pure devotion. So we have to become happy that way. So that are 6 offenses to to devotees, and that's the first offense. Holy name can forgive everything except offenses towards the devotees of Lord. That it cannot tolerate. So if your mind, you can't help your mind, and always your mind is thinking wrong something about devotees or criticizing them unnecessarily, then please pray to Krishna that he should get rid of this disease. Actually, Ayurveda says, there's an Ayurveda book, Ashtanghirdham, and Ayurveda says that that number one disease, there are 3,000 diseases of human body. There are more than that, but 3,000 are listed. But the first disease which Bhagavad mentions is enviousness. That's the first disease. That's the disease of mind. And from that, all diseases proceed. So, first offense is never blaspheme devotees. And especially those devotees who have dedicated their lives for preaching. Because preaching means serving the holy name. We don't just chant the holy name, we serve the holy name. Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 20, purport, Prabhupada says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us not to be the master of holy name, but to be the servant of holy name. Prabhupada says. And that means we serve holy name by chanting, we serve the holy names by distributing them. To ask other people to chant. No, that is service to holy name. By propagating the holy names, we do that. So that is what Prabhupada says, to blaspheme those devotees who dedicated their lives in propagation of the holy names. That's the first offense. Okay, the second offense is Shivasya Shri Vishnuya Gnam Adi Guna Sakalam Diya Bhinnam Pashyet Sakhalo Harinam Ahitkara. Second offense is to consider the names of Vishnu equal or independent to the names of demigods. That's the second offense. Can we just, is it going on or they can't do? Okay, then they can just forget it. Just forget it. So is the recording going on? Are they recording? Okay, then leave it then. Just if it's not coming, if they can't do. Okay, so second offense is to consider the names of Vishnu and Shiva to be equal or independent to Lord Vishnu. To consider the names of demigods. That is said in Upanishads. Na tat samam na dikadascha vidyate. Farashe shaktir vividhev shrote. There is nobody equal or independent to Lord Vishnu. So that means Lord Shiva is not God, but he is servant of God. To consider any demigod to be equal or independent. Both things are there. That means Lord Shiva, Brahma, Durga, they are not equal to Krishna, neither they are independent. Because if you consider them independent, then they are in competition with God. But nobody is in competition with Krishna. Nobody stands in front of Krishna. In fact, Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion that when Krishna was in Dwarka, many demigods used to come and meet him, like Brahma and Indra. And Krishna's guard used to ask them, who are you? And they used to say, I am Brahma. So he used to inform Krishna, okay, Krishna Brahma has come. So Krishna used to ask his guard, okay, ask them, which Brahma is there? And the guard went back and he asked, okay, which Brahma you are? Brahma said, which Brahma? I am Brahma. Come on, you're crazy, I am Brahma. So then Brahmaji told, okay, I am the Brahma with 4 faces and 4 sons. So the guard goes back to Krishna and he tells, okay, there's a Brahma with 4 faces and 4 sons. So Krishna says, okay, ask him to wait. There's a bench, ask him to sit there in waiting list. Because I am meeting another Brahma who has 1,000 faces. And that was Krishna. Then Krishna showed him there are so many Brahmas. And then afterwards Indra came. And the guard told, okay, you sit, one more bench is there, just you sit, you have to just wait. Krishna is busy. So that is the power of Krishna. There is nobody equal to him or independent of him. All demigods derive their power from Krishna. So both things you have to remember. Neither equal nor independent. This is one meaning of second offense. And the other meaning of second offense is to consider the names of Vishnu to be different from Lord Vishnu. Shivasya Shri Vishnu. Shivasya means all auspicious. To consider all auspicious names of Lord Vishnu or Krishna to be different from him. This is a serious offense. In fact, it is said by Prabhupada again and again, whenever we chant, we should chant thinking that Krishna's name is Krishna himself. If we forget this point, we can keep on chanting for millions of lives but nothing happens. Bahu janma jadi kare shravan kirtan, tabu na paye Krishna prem dhan. So generally people ask us how to chant, and that seminar I'll give one of the days. But the key point to chant is Nama Nami is ek. Nama Chintamani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. So holy name of Krishna and name of Krishna is one. Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, whenever you chant, you should think that you're in touch with Krishna. You're in touch with him. And Prabhupada says, as soon as you think you are in touch with him, you should forget everything else. Because how can you remember anything else if you're in touch with God? And if you are remembering anything else when you are in touch with God, this means that we are not in touch with Krishna. This means that we don't give importance to him. We might be in touch with him, but we don't give importance to him. Is it? So you can meet a person. Suppose some person comes in this hall and you meet him and you handshake, so you touch him, but then okay, you sit. But then afterwards somebody tells you that he is a prime minister of Africa. So then you go back again and again handshake. But now you handshake with a difference, now you know he's a prime minister. With one reference, is it? So we can touch Krishna, but that's one point. But another point is to touch him with full importance in our mind. So generally we chant holy names, we are in touch with him, but we don't give importance to him. We don't give importance to him as we are giving importance to ourselves. And that is why when we chant, our mind is engrossed in myself. We are thinking of ourselves always, no? I'll do this, I'll do that, I will be doing this, planning about yourself. Mind thinks of those things which it feels it is important. Like parents think of children, or businessman thinks of money, or a lusty man will think of a woman because for them this is important. So what is important, your mind will go there. So if while chanting your mind is going to material world, this means we are in touch with God but we don't understand who is God. We are in touch with Krishna but we don't really understand who is Krishna, because if we really understand who is he, then our acharyas, when they used to have darshan of Krishna, as soon as they used to see Krishna, they used to faint. This is what is coming in touch with God, is it? And Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, as soon as you chant the holy names with pure conception, with absolute conviction that this is Krishna, tears will flow from your eyes. They must. As soon as you go near fire, you must burn, is it? It's impossible that you will not burn. Prabhupada says. And if you're going near fire and if you're not burning, then there are two things. Either fire is illusion, or there is some problem with you that you're not burning. Something crazy is going on. So that's the idea. So this means this is a second offense. Second offense is to consider the names of Krishna to be different from him. That conviction we need. And how can we get that conviction? By understanding Krishna. Who is he? By understanding his holy name. By taking knowledge about holy name, Prabhupada says. And the third offense is, what's that? Guru Ravagya? To disobey the orders of spiritual master. Guru Ravagya means not to obey the orders of spiritual master, not to try to obey. We all try to obey the orders of spiritual master. But some people don't even try that. They neglect. Neglecting, avagya means neglect. So one thing is you're trying, but you're not able to do. That's one thing. Okay, fine. My spiritual master has said to come to temple. Okay, get up early in the morning. Prabhupada said, get up early in the morning. Do Mangal Arati. Okay, you're trying, but you're not able to do. So that's not offense. But if you neglect this order, and if you say, okay, well, it doesn't matter actually whether we get up early in the morning or not, then that's offense. That's offense. So, and in fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Guru Avagya also means not reading the books of spiritual master. That, in fact, he says, because Prabhupada says, I am in my books. I will live forever in my books. He says in Science of Self-Realization. So he says, if you want to know me, read my books. So if we don't read his books, we don't understand his instructions. If we don't understand his instructions, we don't follow them. If we don't follow them, that's neglect. So if you're standing on a red light, and you in a car, and you cross the red light, then what happens? If you cross the red light, then you are charged, you're fine, no? Is it? But then you will say, I didn't know whether we should stop at red light or not. Prabhupada says, ignorance is no excuse. So you can't say, I didn't have time to read Prabhupada books, I didn't read because of this reason. You can't say that. That's neglect. You have to take out time to fulfill his orders. You have to read his. In fact, in ISKCON, that's becoming a norm not to read Prabhupada books. It's happening like that. So Prabhupada says, read my books like a law book. And that means Guru Avagya. So I have not seen many people who have even finished Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm just touring America. And I ask people, have you finished Chaitanya Charitamrita once? No. How many people have read Chaitanya Charitamrita here? Right. Full? Not finished. Anybody finished? No. So in fact, in Mayapur they asked many senior devotees, have you read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Nobody. Just 1%. Leaders. You can imagine. It happened just now. And that is offense against holy name. And then people say we are chanting, but we don't have ecstatical symptoms. Our mind is like going like mad for people. Okay, and then you avoid this offense. So Prabhupada says, daily 1 hour you should read my books. That's the standing instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Daily we should read. So that's Guru Avagya. Practically this means not reading Prabhupada books. That's all. Okay, fourth offense is, what's fourth offense? Anybody knows? Shruti Shastra Nindanam, to blaspheme the scriptures or scriptures in pursuance of Vedic literatures. That's a fourth offense. Fourth offense is Prabhupada says, for example, to blaspheme, to say, okay, fine, we read Gita and Vedas are nothing. Vedas are okay, they are speculation. No, that's wrong. Whether it's Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, Quran or Bible, all of these scriptures are bona fide. Prabhupada used to say. In fact, if you read Bible, it's exactly same message as Bhagavatam. Bible is talking about love of God. We all know. Love thy God with all thy body, all thy strength, all thy mind. And Bible is also saying you should repent for your sins. You should pray. Everything is same like Bhagavatam. Islam means surrender. So surrender to God. That's a message, no? Principle is same. Details might differ. So to blaspheme these literatures in the name of religion. That's what is happening in this material world, no? Okay. Devotion is not monopoly of Krishna consciousness. That's one thing. It's not monopoly of Krishna. It's not our monopoly, no? It's not that if you are just in ISKCON, then you can become pure devotee. No, there are other traditions also, no? We should be broad-minded. A good Christian, he can be a pure devotee. A good Muslim, he can be a pure devotee. A good Sri Sampradaya person, they can be pure devotee. So we should have a broad vision, not a sectarian vision. Prabhupada always said and helped us to understand this scientifically. 1 + 1 is 2, that's all. And so I was hearing a lecture of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was saying that if you follow all rules and regulations of scriptures, and if you don't develop love for Krishna, it's waste. Prabhupada said that. So we might have certain set of rules regulations to achieve love. Christians might have another set of rules regulations to achieve love, but the principle is same. So in order to not fall into this offense of blaspheming other scriptures, it's also important to get a broad view of Krishna consciousness, no? So we read Gita, we read Bhagavatam, you can also have a look at Bible and Quran and have a look how those traditions are talking the same thing. In fact, one of my friend, Orthodox Christian, Christianity also, no, Protestants, Liberals, Catholics, Orthodox Christian, he said that according to Christianity, there are 72 names of God. Now, if you read English Bible, King James Version, it's all God. They have translated God, no, Hebrew. But if you go to original Hebrew word, it's not God. It is different names of God which they have translated into God. So they are there's a name Jehovah. You know this? Adonai. Adonai is one of the name of God, which means all attractive, by the way, as Krishna, same. So and then in Quran there are 99 names of Allah, beautiful names, and they chant the holy names. So if we have little broad conception of all religion and scriptures, then we'll not fall into this trap of blaspheming other religions and then saying those religions are not good, our thing is good. Yes, that's true. Mahaprabhu has given the highest platform of devotion, but it doesn't mean that other traditions, other religion are not pure devotion. They might not have such a high conception, but that's pure. It's not impure. So that's the fourth offense. If you want to get rid of this offense, take some knowledge. Read books. Have a look. Don't go by popular understand. Don't go by YouTube. I want to see it about Bible. Okay, see some YouTube and some guy saying something and then you get confused. It's all bogus. Read original books. Very nice. Okay, fifth offense is, what's that? Anybody?
Considering glories of chanting.
Yeah. Actually fifth offense, you can take both. So fifth offense is Hari Namni Kalpanam. To consider the glories of holy name to be imagination or exaggeration. So Prabhupada says that the meaning, this means to say that, okay, one's chanting of holy names can liberate you, it is said. So to think like that, how it is possible? That's an offense. In fact, one of the devotee, Gopal Chapal, he had a discussion with Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur said the same thing. One's chanting of holy name will liberate you. And Gopal Chapal said, no, how is it possible? It's complete nonsense proposal. So Haridas Thakur says it is true. And after 3 days, Gopal Chapal got leprosy. His nose, he got an offense, is melted. So that's true. One's chanting of holy names will give you liberation. So, but then you might think, come on, I'm chanting 16 rounds daily, but I'm not liberated. We're all chanting 16 rounds, no? But we don't get liberation. But then it is said in scriptures, one's chanting can give you liberation. So this might create doubts in mind. This might create, maybe it's imagination to give us enthusiasm. How this is possible? I'm chanting 16 rounds since 20 years and I'm not liberated. So maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's just to enthuse us. No, actually it's not like that. And to solve this, not to fall trap to this offense, we have to understand what we are doing and why we are doing. We have to get knowledge. Without knowledge, you will have confusion in your mind. And then there will be doubts, which we ourselves will not understand. It is said in scriptures, 4 things you should destroy immediately. 1 is fire, 1 is enemy, 1 is snake, and 4th is doubt. If you have doubt, it can increase, and then sometimes it goes beyond your control. So, so I was talking to one devotee, and that devotee was saying, "See, you know what? I have doubt whether Prabhupada has given exact translation of the verse." And if you read the translations, you might have this doubt because Prabhupada doesn't translate as it is. By the way, as literal translation of Sanskrit, he doesn't do that. If you see word to word meaning, the word is something else, Prabhupada gives another meaning. So because that devotee was a Sanskrit scholar, so he could see that Prabhupada is not translating as it is, but then he writes as it is. That's a big doubt. So how do you solve this? You might not have this doubt now because you might not have read the books of Prabhupada properly. But the point is, one point of time you might meet somebody and then he might tell you, and then after 15 years you get this doubt, and then if after 15 years you get this doubt, then you become incurable. Then it's incurable. But then I told him, see, the point is, you have not read Prabhupada books properly, that's why this doubt is there. Of course, it seems Prabhupada doesn't translate literally. Prabhupada translates Karma Yoga as devotion. But that's not devotion. If literal translation is Karma Yoga means action, no? Prabhupada translates Buddhi Yoga as Bhakti Yoga. That's not literal. So Prabhupada does some things. But so you have to deal with this doubt. Doubts are not bad. In fact, doubts are road to knowledge. If you don't have doubts, you don't increase your knowledge, is it? If I give you a lecture and if I ask any question, no questions, then this means you have not understood anything. Either you have understood everything or you have understood nothing. So it's good if a teacher is giving class and if some child asks question, he's considered to be intelligent, no? He's asking questions and doubts, teacher likes him. Having doubts is good, but those doubts should be solved as soon as possible. Keeping them is not good. That's not a good idea. In fact, it is said in scriptures that the first mercy of Krishna, if Krishna is really merciful to you, then he will give you doubts. He'll give you doubts. So that quickly you have all those doubts, so that quickly, and he will also give you association of devotees who can solve that doubts. You can quickly cross all the doubts and become convinced. That's the first mercy of Krishna. So that is the fifth offense. Considering the glories of holy name to be a product of imagination, it is said, okay, once chanting a holy name will destroy all sins, but it doesn't happen. So what's the answer for that? If you get knowledge, you will understand. And it is said in scriptures that yes, it is true, once chanting of holy names destroys all sins, but then it is explained that is a post-dated check. That's a post-dated check. Okay, it is true, if I give you a check of $1 million, it is true, you are a millionaire. But you can encash it after 1 year. So it is said in scriptures that yes, chanting of holy names can destroy all sins, but Krishna doesn't destroy it immediately. All sins are destroyed. Krishna has given you a document. As soon as you chant one name, he will sign it, and it's said, your all sins are destroyed. Okay. But he doesn't destroy it immediately. He uses those sins to purify you. He's very intelligent. He's very intelligent. He will use your sins to purify you. And because some of your sins, because of your sins you will suffer. And when you suffer, then you will learn something, is it? Because of sins you will suffer, and when you suffer, then you will call him with heart. That's true, no? So he will use your sins to purify you. So, yes, chanting of holy names destroys all sins. Now you are not under control of sins, but you are under control of Krishna. Your all sins are destroyed. In the sense, Krishna is using your sins to purify you. Sins will lead you to go down into hell, is it? But now your sins are helping you to go up. So your sins are destroyed, is it? If you have something and if it doesn't give the effect, it's almost as good as destroyed, is it? It's the same thing, no? If you have fire, if it doesn't give heat and light, it's useless. It's as good as no. So if you have sins, and if due to sins you don't go to hell, and you go to spiritual world, then those sins are not sins, no? He will use that. So if you have sinned in previous lives, and because of sins you have to become sick now, suppose tomorrow you have to become sick because of your sins. So Krishna will allow you. Krishna will allow those sins to come. You will become sick. But then he will send a devotee to you. And that devotee will tell, you see, you have become sick, and use this sickness to please him. So when you were healthy, you were chanting 16 rounds, and Krishna was pleased. But when you're sick, and then you chant 16 rounds, Krishna will be more pleased with you. Is it? When you're healthy, anybody can chant. But when you're sick, then he will be pleased. Oh yes, this devotee is even chanting his sickness, good. So you see, those sins are helping you to advance, to go near Krishna. So that's the meaning of once chanting will destroy all sins. In the sense, the effect of sins are not there. You don't glide down, you go up. That is why it is said, Krishna consciousness is so nice. As soon as you connect with Krishna, everything bad becomes good. As soon as you connect with Krishna, all your sorrows become happiness. And happiness is anyway happiness, no? Everything will help you to go near Krishna. Krishna will plan your life in such a way. And that is why it is said, Krishna is the expert leader. Gatir bharta Prabhu sakshi nivasa suhirdam sharanam. The Bhagavad Gita verse. Gatir bharta Prabhu sakshi. 9th chapter. One of the names of Krishna is Gati. Gati means he is a best leader. He can guide you towards the goal of life very easily, very happily, and intelligently. That's Krishna. So this is the 5th offense. 6th offense is Arthvadascha. Arthvadascha means, so what that means in English, Arthvadascha? To, what is 6th offense? To give some mundane interpretation to the holy name. So to say, like, so suppose if you go to Himalayas, if you go to yogis, and if you talk to them, we chant holy names. They also chant holy names. But there's a difference. When they chant holy name, they use holy name for concentration. That's their idea. Just like yogis also use candle, they focus on the candle. Or that yantra is there, that yantra is there, there's a dot. They focus. So they think, okay, fine, whether candle, a dot, or holy name, it's all the same. That is giving mundane interpretation to the holy name. Holy name is a means according to them, and not the end in philosophical language. Holy names will help you to attain concentration of mind. And when once mind is concentrated, then you don't need chanting. That is giving mundane interpretation to the holy name. According to a devotee, we don't chant like that. We don't chant to get concentration. No. We don't chant to get concentration. That's wrong. Then we are using holy name to achieve concentration. No. We chant the holy names just for one thing, just to please him, just to serve him. And concentration automatically happens. Automatic. It's not a big thing. So that is chanting of holy name. Prabhupada says holy name means Krishna. That's all. Finish. No other mundane interpretation. So that was, so who asked Mahaprabhu? I think somebody asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh yeah, so Vallabhacharya met Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, okay, so what's the meaning of Krishna? So Vallabhacharya said Krishna means Krish plus Na, and he was going in Sanskrit, all attractive, then liberation and this. Mahaprabhu said, see, I don't know all these meanings, I just know one meaning of Krishna, that he is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Simple. So that is holy name. It is God himself. In fact, holy name is more powerful than Krishna. So, we have a story, no? That once Vishwamitra, he goes to Ram, and Ram, he takes a promise from Lord Ram. And Ram says, okay, I promise you, I'll give you everything. So, anything you ask. So Vishwamitra says, you're sure? He says, I promise you. Otherwise, I'll give my life. So he says, okay, my request is, you please kill Hanuman. And Ram, what should he do now? Ram said, come on, you are going crazy or what? I should kill Hanuman? Like, he's my best devotee. So Vishwanath says this, yeah, you have promised me now. Now you can't go back. So Ram says, okay, I'll fulfill my promise. And he goes and he takes his arrow and bow and he says, Hanuman, you get ready, I have to kill you. I have promised. It's because I am Ram, I am Maryada Purushottam. If I would have been Krishna, I would have politically avoided that. But in this incarnation, I don't do politics. So I have to kill you. So Hanuman said, no problem. You shoot your arrow and I will chant your names. I'll chant your names. I'll chant Ram, Ram. You shoot, no problem. You fulfill your promise. I don't want your promise to break because of me. And Ram shoots his arrow, but nothing happens because he's chanting holy names of Ram. Ram gets defeated by his names. That's the idea. That is the meaning of holy name. Anything else beyond this is mundane interpretation. Anything beyond this is, we don't chant holy names to get bliss, to get peace, to get satisfaction. That's not the idea. That is what you will hear when you go to all these Mayavadis, Shankara Ashram, yogis if you go. They say you chant holy names for bliss and ecstasy. We don't do that. We don't chant holy names for peace and happiness. If you are doing that, then that's wrong. That's mundane interpretation. We are considering holy name as an ordinary mantra for getting euphoria. We chant holy names just for one thing. We chant holy names of Krishna for Krishna. That's all, because it is Krishna. So that's fifth offense. And the sixth. Seventh offense is Namno baladesai papa buddhi na vedette amai tasya hi shuddhi. In fact, it's good to remember Sanskrit. You can all learn Sanskrit. Namno baladesai buddhi papa buddhi. This offense is to commit sinful activities on strength of holy names of Lord. Papa buddhi. This offense says you have so papa buddhi means evil. So papa buddhi means evil intelligence. You have evil intelligence if you use chanting of holy names to destroy your sins. That's evil. Okay, Prabhupada says in that lecture. Okay, fine. So because chanting of holy names can destroy all sins, so I will continue doing sins and then I will keep on chanting, and so all sins will be destroyed. We don't do this. We don't do like this, no? Nobody does like that. Okay, fine, I'll chant, and tomorrow I will do gambling, drink wine, and then again chant, and all sins are destroyed. Christianity, Prabhupada says Christianity has become like this, no? Confession, you do everything nonsense, Saturday you go and confess, and then you feel relieved. Even we have become like that, most of us. And we can become like that if you're not become. And our acharyas guard at that. This offense also means that even after spending so many years in Krishna consciousness, not trying to cross your bad habits, not trying to overcome your evil tendencies, then you fall a trap to this offense. You see, committing sinful activities on strength of holy name. Okay, good. You spend 1 year in devotion, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and still you have bad habits, no? Is it? You're chanting, okay. Those bad habits are not going. And then 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. So for 5 years, Krishna will say, no problem, he'll tolerate. Because you're new, you're a child. Your body is big, but you're a child. You're 5 years old child, okay, after initiation or after starting chanting. So, no problem. But when you become 10 years in devotion, 15 years, then Krishna says, no, not now. Then we are committing of sins, sinful activity on strength of holy name. Even after 20 years, if we are chanting, and still we are doing nonsense, still we are seeing internet, WhatsApp, Facebook, we are wasting time. Everybody does that, no? Then Krishna will say, then you are doing offense. Then you are doing sins, and a subconscious mind is thinking, okay, no problem. Chanting will help me. But then chanting is not going to help you, because Krishna will become displeased. He will say, okay, fine, initially you were ignorant, but now you are lazy. You are lazy. After so many years, why didn't you work hard? It's like that, no? If suppose you join a company, when you are new in trial period, what's that trial period it's called? What's that called? Probation? Probation period, when you do mistakes, no problem. Or once you are in the company and then you do mistakes, you can be fired. So 5-6 years in devotion, that's a probation period. No problem. Okay. But after that, it's a serious thing. In fact, Prabhupada says in one of his letters, Prabhupada says in one of his letters, even sannyasis can fall down. Prabhupada says even sannyasis can go to hell. Because why? Because Prabhupada says, the more higher you go, the more responsible you become. The more responsible you become, even a small mistake will be considered as big. And if you're new, even a big mistake will be considered as small. So we should try hard. If you don't want to fall in the trap of this offense, try your level best to get rid of all these bad habits, to get rid of your laziness, to overcome lust, anger, greed. Try that to the best of your efforts. Don't waste time. Don't control your mind. Yeah, that has to be done, and Krishna will help. So 8th offense is, what's the 8th offense?
Thinking that it's karma.
Yeah, dharma vrat hota tyag adi sarva kriya shubha samyam api pramada. That's 8th offense. To think that chanting of holy names is a pious activity. That's wrong. And that we also think, suppose if we think chanting of holy names will give us peace, that means you are considering chanting of holy names as a pious activity. Pious activities generally make you peaceful, no? Make you feel good. So if we think, okay, chanting of holy name will give me peace and make me feel good, then we are doing this offense. No. Chanting of holy names will not give you peace. Chanting of holy names will put you in anxiety. Prabhupada says that. Spiritual anxiety. Peace as far as material world is concerned. But spiritual anxiety, you will be more anxious to serve him. Spiritual anxiety, you will be more anxious to meet him. Now, chanting of holy names will not exactly give you happiness. It will give you sorrows of separation. So it is not exactly a ritual, chanting of holy name. It's not a good thing to do. It is much beyond good thing. Prabhupada says, chanting of holy name might seem as a ritual, like temple and so many things. But all these things are just for one thing, to attain love of God. That is chanting of holy names. We have to keep in mind, don't fall into trap of this. Because when we chant, it is impossible not to have bliss. We all feel bliss, no? When we chant, we feel happy. But don't stop there. That's not the ideal result of holy name. That's a side effect of holy name. That's not the result. If you take aspirin, the side effect of aspirin is diarrhea. So aspirin, by the way, you take for fever, is it? But if you have constipation, you can also take aspirin. Because side effect is diarrhea, so it cures. You see, so it cures constipation. But that's a side effect. You don't take aspirin for that. So that is why don't be satisfied with satisfaction of chanting of holy names. No, don't be satisfied with peace and bliss. That is Hinduization of Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. That Hindus think like that, no? Is it? You chant in my home, it will become pious and pure. Hindus think like that. We don't chant exactly to become pure or peaceful or satisfied. We chant only for one thing, to please Krishna. That's all. That's all. If to please Krishna we have to become impure, we accept. No problem. If that's the case, if Krishna wants, fine. And that was the problem of Arjuna. Arjuna was thinking, Krishna, I'll become impure if I kill my spiritual master. That's a bad thing. Whole society will become impure. So many husbands die and females are widow. Krishna says, you fool, forget your purity. Whatever I say, you do that. So Arjuna then understood, okay, fine. If I have to become impure to satisfy Krishna, okay, well and good. So that's the idea. We should not fall trap to purity, to peace, to happiness. That's not our... Don't reduce Krishna consciousness to simple morality. That's a bad thing. In fact, so I'm writing a book on reincarnation. I preach to scientists. So I'm writing a book on reincarnation. So I was studying many cases of reincarnation and documenting in that. And I'm also documenting many cases of near-death experience. You know near-death experience? People die, heart attacks, they leave their body, they go up, they see something and come back and they report near-death experience. So one of the case was of a Christian. He was a father in a church whole life, and he got heart attack. He left his body, and after 1 hour he came back. 1 hour he was declared dead. in hospital. But then he came back and he said, you know what, I went to paradise and I met Christ. And Christ said, you'll go to hell. So then he said, come on, whole life I have been father in church, whole life since 5 years of age, and now I'm like 55, 60 years, I have been like the priest. And you say I go to hell? Christ says, yes, because you have reduced my message of love of God to simple morality. That's what Christianity has become today, no? Is it? Love thy neighbors, help people. But that's not the message. He said, you changed my message. So you go to hell. And we should be careful. It should not happen with all of us in this institution, with all of us. We should not reduce Krishna consciousness to morality. We have to give message to people that chanting of holy names, we are doing devotion only to love Him. Love Him. Nevertheless, you will get peace, happiness, satisfaction, but that's not the point of what our message is. That is a message of other spiritual, new age spirituality, is it? That's their message. That's not our message. And that's a 8th offense. Dharmrat hodate agi sarvakresha samyamapi pramada. Pramada means it can create madness and chaos in your mind. It can overcome your mind, these kind of concepts. So 9th offense is instructing faithless persons about the glories of chanting the holy name. Ashradadhana vimukhya api ashrinvanti yascha updesha shivanam apradha. So that means chanting the glories of holy name to a faithless person. Now you might say to me, well, we ask people to chant Krishna's name. Is it? We tell them also that chanting of holy names will help you to destroy sins and peace, and we say, and love of God, liberation. So you are giving knowledge of glories of holy name to faithless people. In fact, Gaudiya Math was criticizing Prabhupada because of this very fact. They were criticizing Prabhupada. That why you are saying in your lectures about glories of holy name. This shlok, Nama Chintamani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ras Vigraha, holy name is living force. It is not different from itself. It is purest of pure. It is free of all sins. They were saying. So they were saying, Prabhupada, why you are saying all these things? Prabhupada said they are fools. Prabhupada said they are fools. The offense is to chant the glories of holy name to a faithless person. That's the offense. Prabhupada said, by my teachings, I create faith and then then give the glories of holy name. What's the problem with that? Yeah, to give faithless people the glories of holy name, that's bad. But what we do is, we give them faith and then tell them glories of holy name. Then that's no problem. That is preaching all about. So that is why whenever we preach, we have to first give them faith and then knowledge. Not first knowledge and then faith. And it doesn't happen. And to do this, we should have not just knowledge but realizations. If we don't have realizations, then we'll be just giving knowledge and no faith. And then it can create problems for that person. So we should work hard to have... In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam begins by this. So can we... till what time we should go, by the way? Can you just... Oh, really? It's up to...
This curtain will close at 8:40.
Okay, fine. So it is, you see, we have to get realization. It is said in first canto of Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami I was reading. It is said, Sukdev Goswami, he went to forest. He did so many austerities. He wanted to have the experience of supreme realization for the benefit of mankind. So we are here to have realizations so that we can give realizations. What you don't have, you can't give, no? That's impossible. If you're at 10th floor, you can raise that person to 10th floor, not beyond that. So, yes, we can pass knowledge, but before that, we should have realizations to help people. We should have faith to give them faith. In fact, preaching is not just giving knowledge, it's giving faith and enthusiasm. Otherwise, books are there. Books are there. So that's our duty. Our duty is to give them faith and then knowledge. Then we don't fall into trap of this offense. And the 10th offense is Shrutva api nam hatmayam yah priti rahito adhama aham mamadi parmo so api nam apradhakrit. This is the 10th offense. So 10th offense is to maintain materialistic conception of life even after attaining so much knowledge about the subject matter. In fact, if you read Sanskrit, it is Shrutva api nam hatmayam yah priti rahito adhama. Anybody who hears the glories of holy name, still they are not attached to the holy name. They are adham, they are most fallen, if you go literal like that. People who are chanting holy names and you don't have attachment to chanting holy names, this often says that they are most fallen. Even after chanting so many times, we still are attached to material world or maintain our attachments. That's an offense. So, of course, now you might ask me, well, still we all have material attachments, no? It's not easy to get out of it. It's not a child's play to get out of material attachment. It's, in fact, especially attachment to the body. That doesn't go. So, are we all doing offense? No, that's not the point here. The point is to willfully maintain an attachment to this material world. So you're chanting Hare Krishna and one hand Campa Cola, one hand Hare Krishna. And that's bad. Or you're chanting Hare Krishna and seeing television. Or you're chanting Hare Krishna and seeing something on net. Then that's a willful attachment to this material world. Krishna doesn't excuse that. Krishna will excuse if your mind is weak. But Krishna will not excuse if your mind is cunning. They are two different things. A weak mind will also get disturbed while chanting. A cunning mind will also get disturbed by chanting. But the difference is a weak-minded person who is chanting and whose mind is bewildered, he will feel guilty in his heart. And he will try to control. But a cunning mind, he will not feel guilty. He will be chanting and will be thinking something else. He will be planning in his mind. That's a diplomat. So this offense says that willfully maintaining material attachment, that's bad. And that happens, That happens. In fact, many devotees I have met who are like 25, 30 years in movement. And then they say, many of them don't even get up for Mangalarti. It happens. After many years, it becomes mechanical, no? So you don't get up for Mangalarti. You sometimes can't finish your rounds. And then after many years, a compromise comes in mind. Okay, fine. This life is okay. Next life we'll see. This life I have done so much, I can't do more than that. So next life will become perfect. And that's a very bad thing to think like that. Why? Because if Krishna is giving you a gift, and if you don't accept it, that's an offense. Krishna is giving you a gift, love of God. If suppose a king comes here, and if a king gives you a gift, and if you don't accept that gift, you will be guilty, you will be liable, you will be punished. That's a disrespect to king, no? So Krishna is giving love of God, and if we say, no, okay, fine, this life is okay, my enthusiasm is gone, and that is enough, that is an offense. And that is this 10th offense. To maintain materialistic conception of life, even after hearing about so much about subject matter. If we have heard enough from Prabhupada, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to get enthusiasm for millions of lives, not for just this life. We have to continue. We must continue. No matter we fail or succeed, but we should not fail in our enthusiasm. We can fail in achieving love of God, that's okay, but we should not fail in enthusiasm. Then Krishna will be happy. Okay, good. If we don't fail in enthusiasm, then Krishna will come to us. But if we fail in enthusiasm and we try to go to Krishna, neither he will come, neither will we be able to approach him. So that is this 10th offense. Shrutva api nama atmyam me priti rahitotama. So if you have heard so much about subject matter, then you should maintain enthusiasm. Or another choice is, don't hear. So you are safe, no? So if you have not, If you would have not heard this class, then you would have been much better. Is it? But now you have heard and now there's no escape. So it is said in Bhagavad, in Kali Yuga, thinking bad of somebody is not a sin. Is it? You have heard about that? Like physically doing something, that's sin, but thinking is not sin. But there's a trap there. If you know this fact that thinking is not sin, and then you think bad, then you become sinful. Because now you know that. So people who don't know, then for that's excused. But for people who know, then that's not excused really. So what's better? Ignorance is bliss? No. If you don't know, then there is no hope. So Prabhupada said, shoot a rhinoceros. Prabhupada said that. Shoot a rhinoceros. So Prabhupada said, okay, if you shoot a rhinoceros, so to shoot rhinoceros is very difficult. A rhinoceros is that horn, no? You know that? So the skin of rhinoceros is like steel. So the bullet doesn't go pierce that. So you can't kill him by shooting. You have to shoot him here, between two eyebrows, but there's a horn. It's very difficult. You have to make an angle from the side and it should go directly here. That's almost impossible. But if you shoot a rhinoceros, if you are able to kill him, you become famous. People say, come on, it's a deadly animal. First of all, you can die and then you shoot. And that's another difficult. So you're the best shooter, you're courageous, you become instantly famous. If you're not able to shoot a rhinoceros, still you become famous. Because people say he's so courageous, he at least tried to encounter it. So both ways you're benefited. So, but same logic. If you try chanting holy names, and if you fail, no problem. If you fail to get love of God, but if you're enthusiastic, if you're trying to get out of offenses, people will praise you. Demigods will praise you. Yes, he was trying. But if you don't do anything, if you even don't try to shoot a rhinoceros, if you sit in a home, then you are called, then no glories. You're just a coward. You'll be called as a coward. Hare Krishna. Shri Radha Nil Madhav ki jai. So you see that the point. So sitting alone and not trying anything, that doesn't solve anything. Although the path is risky, path of devotion is like walking on a razor's edge. A slight mistake and your feet are cut. But there's no choice. You have to go. Because if you stay here, back in this material world, then that is razor's edge. But here it's more dangerous. It is full of razors. That is at least one razor. But this material world is full of razors, full of blades. So there's a well, you are hanging in a well, below there are snakes. So if you keep on hanging, that's a very bad choice. You can always fall down and get yourself killed. So better try. If you're out of well, then that's good. If you fall down in well, then anyway you are falling down, so no problem. So that is the 10th offense. Don't lose enthusiasm. If you have to get out of this 10th offense, then the only trick is don't lose enthusiasm. And the trick to not lose enthusiasm is to associate with devotees who are enthusiastic. And who are enthusiastic? Those devotees who are enthusiastic, who are reading Prabhupada books, who are reading lives of pure devotees, who meditate on pure devotees, their life, their precepts, their teaching, and not just hear them, but meditate them. And also practically try to imbibe them in their heart. Then you can remain enthusiastic. Otherwise, it's very difficult to remain enthusiastic. Be always with enthusiastic devotees. It's not enough to remain with devotees. It is important to remain with enthusiastic devotees. There's a difference. Hindi mein, anybody knows Hindi? Ram milai jodi ek andha ek kodi. Suna? Ram milai jodi ek andha ek kodi. You have heard that? So it is said that you associate with those devotees who are equal to you. Then chit chat and gossips, that's all. You end up wasting. It's not really beneficial. You can do that if there's nothing around. But it's always good to associate with people who are above you, so that you go up. And above you means enthusiasm. Above you means enthusiasm. That's the trick to avoid 10th offense. And the last offense is pramadascha, not to be attentive while chanting. It is said this is the mother of all offenses. Not to be attentive while chanting. And what do you mean by attention? To give attention to holy name means not just concentration. Attention doesn't mean concentration. Don't confuse with that. Concentration, yogis do. We are attentive. And attention to holy name means to chant in a mood, with a mood, and not just a focus. That is attention. And Prabhupada says, what's the mood? Prabhupada says, chanting should be cry of a child. Is it? For the mother. That mood we should have. When we chant, we should chant with the mood, Oh Krishna, please protect us from your illusion. Please take me back to yourself. I don't want to come back to Seattle. You can chant like that. You are in Seattle. I never want to come back in Seattle, this complete nonsense place. I want to come back to you. With this kind of feeling you have to chant. That is attention. Attention includes feeling. Feeling. If you want to give attention to somebody, if you have feelings, you will automatically give attention, no? Is it? Just like boyfriend, girlfriend. They are totally attentive on each other because they are feelingly attached. Attachment is there. But if you try to concentrate, then it might not work. Concentration doesn't really always work, is it? If you try to concentrate on my lecture, you might not be able to. If my lecture is not interesting. If it is interesting, automatically you get attention. You don't get here and there. So attention means feeling. You have to chant with a quality chanting. If you want to get out of this offense, chant attentively. And to get quality, you have to work the previous day. You can't say, okay, today morning I'll do quality chanting. And the previous day you were doing complete nonsense. That doesn't happen. Quality builds up. It doesn't come in one day, is it? Just like your Microsoft Amazon. After so many years of hard work, now they have got, a proper software, Word, Excel, without bugs, no? Many years they have been removing bugs, they were increasing quality, and now they have a fine product, is it? Quality doesn't come in one day. Quantity can come in one day. So it builds up, just like you stretch a rubber band. So you keep on stretching and it becomes flexible. Or suppose if you start doing yoga, initially your muscles are hard, no? And you can't stretch your legs fully. But when you keep on doing, then you can stretch properly. It becomes flexible. So quality builds up. So if you want to chant attentively, the previous day you have to be careful. The previous day you should be spending your time in a service, in checking your heart, where your heart is going. That's what is important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, don't allow your emotions to flow here and there. Check your emotions. Your emotions are like a child, a baby. No? If you leave a baby, it will go here and there. So track your emotions. Keep your emotions with God. You might be doing work outside, but don't give emotions to them. Keep your emotions there. And if you practice that, then next day you can chant attentively, otherwise not. You can try, but it will not happen. And you might have seen that, no? If suppose today is Janmashtami and you serve him nicely, and then next day is a festival, of course, if you don't become tired, then the next day your chanting is very nice. Or suppose if you go for book distribution, and then you come back, then you chant. It's nice chanting, no? Is it? You have experienced? You feel nice. Because you have developed a quality by that action. So attentive chanting depends on quality, and quality depends on your action in Krishna consciousness, not just the chanting. And what services you do. The previous day, the previous to previous day. So those are 10 offenses. And it is said, what's that? Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against all these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, which is love of God. And Chaitanya Prabhu says, Bahu janma jadi kare shravan kirtan, tabu na paye Krishna prem dhan. So, not just this life. Next life, again you will come back if you don't avoid offenses. Again, spiritual master. Again you'll get a name. Again temple. We are not supposed to do again and again. Prabhupada said, finish the business in this life. Prabhupada's words are very strong. Finish the business. So, avoid these offenses. Avoid it nicely. And if you don't remember these offenses, if you're confused what to do, what not to do, there are so many things. If you do just one thing, you can avoid all offenses. Just one thing. Just one thing. And that is said by scriptures. Sadhu sang, sarv shastra ko ek. Find a devotee who is knowledgeable, who is enthusiastic, who can destroy all your doubts, and associate with them. Find a devotee which have these 4 qualifications. That's said in scriptures. Who have knowledge, who is enthusiastic, who knows how to give knowledge. There are many devotees who have knowledge, but they can't transfer it, no? They can't explain it. And who can solve your doubts, because everybody has doubts. So if you find a devotee like this, associate with them and perfect your life. That's all. That's all what we have to do here. That's why we are here. Otherwise, what is this big temple for? What for? If this big building cannot even produce one pure devotee, what's the point of this big building? There's no point, is it? And that is the best service we can do for Prabhupada. The best service we can do for Prabhupada is to chant purely. Prabhupada said that's the best. There are so many services. If you chant purely, all the services will proceed from that. Automatically you will preach, automatically you will distribute, automatically you will make temples or whatever. But if you miss this foundation, everything will go. After I've seen by my personal experience, after 25, 30 years, people go down. People become lax, lazy, procrastinating, no enthusiasm, and people who don't get up for Mangal Arati, people don't read books, people can't chant properly. Prabhupada says, if you don't avoid offenses and if you're not serious, one day will come that you will say, my spiritual master has given this burden to me. Prabhupada said, it will appear as a burden to you. It will appear as a burden. So Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, advance in devotion, because if you don't advance in devotion, then you are in a very dangerous position. Very dangerous. If you remain at a neophyte position, neophyte doesn't mean new. Neophyte means who cannot get out of these offenses. That's a neophyte. You might be 25 years, but neophyte. It doesn't matter. So if we are at neophyte position, if we are not able to get out of these offenses, then Bhaktisiddhanta says it is impossible to remain in devotion. Fall down is must. Prabhupada says in Purport, 9th chapter, 2nd verse, he says fall down is must. So at least do something by hook and crook. Come to Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari means who is free of these offenses. That's a Madhyamadikari. Whose goal is fixed, who is enthusiastic, who wants to finish the business in this life, who has knowledge, who reads books, who has knowledge, who is expert at chanting. That is, and at least that platform we should come. And if you're not at that platform, do something. Associate with devotees. Go forward. Go ahead. Pray to Krishna. And don't eat, don't sleep if you can't come at that platform. Prabhupada said that. The point is, you don't stop eating, sleeping, but the point is eagerness. Point is eagerness. Dhruv Maharaj, he stopped breathing. Like he was fool. He was fool, he was stupid, he stopped breathing. So then if Dhruv Maharaj was here, you could have gone to him, you could have said, Dhruva, you don't know philosophy. It should be Yukta Vairagya. So you have to take breath, otherwise you'll die. He was Dhruv. We can't do like him. Of course we can't do like him. We are not even a dust of his lotus feet. But what he was showing is the greed to attain perfection. That he was showing. So until unless we don't reach a goal, until unless we don't meet Krishna face to face, that's what Prabhupada says, meet Krishna face to face, we have to continue. We have to continue. We have to try everything possible to advance. If nobody is with you, walk alone. No problem. You might say there's nobody. Okay, walk alone. No problem. Don't wait for anybody. If people are there with you, good. Walk with them. Somebody wants to listen to you, take them along with you. But otherwise, just proceed. So my request is, please read Prabhupada books. That's my request. Please read those books. It's become a tragedy. People are not reading. At least you should read Chaitanya Charitamrita 7-8 times before dying. At least this much just justification you should do to those books. Prabhupada also said, in one of his lecture, I am working so hard for you, but you're not taking benefit. Prabhupada said that. I am doing a hard labor, exact, I forgot the quotation. So I'm paraphrasing. So, yeah, read those books. At least Gita you should have read 100 times. Bhagavatam 40, 50, at least this much, Read those books like a novel, no problem. Just keep them. Just keep them. Just keep them like a wife. That's all. Keep them and keep on reading them. And chant nicely. Don't see WhatsApp, internet, don't attend calls while chanting. While chanting, stop everything. Just throw everything. Just stop. Don't chant while driving. That's a common problem in America, no? Is it like that? Like one hand driving and one hand finishing rounds. Come on, this is a joke. This is disrespect of Krishna. Krishna will, if Krishna will be seeing you, he'll say, come on, what he's doing? He's crazy or what? He wants to die. And then he'll blame me, because of you I died. I was chanting your names. So don't do all these things. It is not only wrong, but it is disrespect. That's the concept I want to tell you. So chant nicely, and advance, and help others to advance. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so 2 minutes. Any questions? Or I'm going to stop here now. Finish. Any comments or any questions anybody want to ask? Prabhu, can you just give me my books? I can just announce. Okay, if there's no questions, then I just want to announce and then we'll stop here. So tomorrow 7:30 I'll be talking on, what's the topic for tomorrow? What's the topic for tomorrow, Prabhu? I forgot. I also forgot. What's that, Prabhu?
Science and God.
No.
We have announced specific topics again.
I just did devotional topics because it's all devotees, no? If we were in public, I would have talked about science and God. So okay, while the timing, this is one of, I have written many books. Just I was talking that you should have information of Bible, Quran, some broad knowledge you should have, no? Otherwise, we start becoming fanatic and sectarian. Like, it doesn't help. People perceive it like us like that.
Yeah, tomorrow is 9-step ladder.
Okay, so tomorrow is 9-step ladder from faith to love. That's what I'm going to talk. So anyway, this is one book, Crazy Ideas. This I wrote a book. All these your questions are there. What is Quran saying? What is Bible saying? What is Krishna consciousness? Why there are so many religions? Why there are so many scriptures? So in preaching, it will help you a lot. What is ghost? What is alien? How can we scientifically prove that I exist? Soul exists? Scientific proof of that. All these questions are there which many people might ask you. But you should have some logical answers for that. Not only from Gita, not only from Prabhupada books, from other sources also. So it helps to impress people. So, and this is one book, Mighty Efforts. Whatever I was talking today, it is from this book, Mighty Efforts, about offenses, about how to get rid. What is subtle meaning of these offenses? How we are still implicated in that and how to get over it. There's this book, Mighty. We have to put some efforts to advance. And this, because I was a doctor and doing research in genetics. So this is one book, Science Fails to Explain Life. And this is for normal people. Everybody can understand. Simple words, but it will help you to understand how we are cheated, how there's a wrong propaganda. Science can explain everything. There's a wrong propaganda, we have explained life. We don't have even definition of life, what to explain the origin of life. And it's a wrong propaganda that genes exist. Genes theory is going out. You're hearing about genes, no? GMO, this. It's all wrong. Nobody understands what is genes. And I'm showing here. And how Vedas also talk about genes and a much deeper concept of genes. Everything is there. And there is evidence of God in genes. You can read this book. So these books are there. And also, if you want to have a look, I can't speak many things in one day. I'll be